Do you ever wake up early and wonder what the day is going to bring? We're going to think about that today on Now with Devotion from Trinity Lutheran in Cyrus. So most mornings when the sun rises over here, you can probably see this behind me a bit too, right? You can watch the sun climb down the valley here over the Pomme de Terre. And most mornings I watch it do that if I can. I'm kind of a late riser. Maybe others are morning people. I think there's good science to reasons behind that. I am not one of them. And many mornings I watch this unfold. And it gives me perspective. I often will say, thank you, God, for the day, but also help me to see what it is you're bringing for me today. It's our Sunday school Christmas program this week. I encourage you to watch online or to come join us in person. Kids have been working hard. We've been having a fun time. I've been helping them practice, and my son has too, and we've really enjoyed that. Speaking of Christmas stories and mornings and wondering what the day might bring, this week I wanted to encourage you all. Take a look at Luke chapter 1. It's verses, 1, but 5 through 25, and then it's 57 through 80. It's a long chapter. You could skip the middle part of it for now, but there are two Christmas stories in the beginning of Luke. One is the story of Mary and Joseph. That's chapter 2. But the other is the story of her cousin Elizabeth and her husband, Zachariah, a priest. And they have a run-in with Gabriel as well. In fact, Gabriel visits them first, and Elizabeth eventually gives birth to John the Baptist. Now, I imagine that Zachariah did not wake up that morning and think, I'm going to visit an angel. No, it was the opposite. He had his job today. For the first time, he's a priest, and one time his entire life, one time he gets to be in the sanctuary and do the incense at the temple, and it was his turn. So he gets up, he's ready to go. It's this big, huge day in his life, and he can't believe it's happening, I'm sure. He's an old man at this point. They've had no children. And he gets into the temple, and right next to where you usually burn the incense, and the people outside are waiting for him. I've had this experience. Well, not this experience, but I know what it's like to be before services. And all of a sudden, an angel appears in that spot. And the angel says, don't be afraid, because he was paralyzed with fear, and says, hey, your wife's going to get pregnant and have a son, and his name's going to be John, and he's going to be John the Baptist, like it's a huge deal. And Zachariah goes, how? What? No. And because of that, of course, Gabriel says, well, I guess you don't get to talk until the baby's born. It's this great story. And then, of course, with Elizabeth, the stuff that happens and her experience of God and how she responds, and then Mary and Elizabeth. The whole thing is fantastic. And it's a story you should read. I encourage you to do that. The point I'd make for right now, though, is what do you expect from God during the day? Do you just expect the next day to always wake up? Do you ever in the morning say, hey, thanks for another day. Thanks for this food. Thanks for my family. Thanks for where I'm at. I know I have some folks that I'm visiting right now who don't have a lot of days left. And sometimes they do say thank you for the day. Sometimes it's a hard one and they don't. But I wonder, how do you expect God to show up during the day? I'm sure Zachariah did not expect God to show up that way. Or John either, for that matter. How do you expect God to show up? I'm Pastor Chris from Trinity in Cyrus, inviting you to enjoy our Christmas program on Sunday this week. Don't miss it. Otherwise, enjoy that first chapter of Luke. I'll see you next time.